Welcome to another episode of Theological Pipe. News, culture, sports, politics, and everything else from a theological perspective.
It's all summed up in love.
What should I do? Tell me. God is good. Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give me peace. Give me peace.
Put that in your theological pipe and smoke it. Welcome to another episode of Theological Pipe. We're going to get started by watching a video. If you're listening on Google or Apple or Spotify, you can listen to the video. If you're watching on YouTube, we're going to watch it on YouTube. Don't forget to click subscribe, like, comment. Appreciate everyone listening. We're going to watch this, and then we're going to talk about it and kind of lead into something. So watch and or listen.
Oh, look who's here.
Is this from your father?
It's in the back.
It's unbelievable. Beautiful. You're doing good. You're enjoying everything, all right? Excuse me. How you doing? Glad you come by.
Can I talk with you?
Sure.
Can we do it outside? So you're going through with this?
Yeah, I start training tomorrow.
Hey, Rock. I made some connections. I could make some money on this, endorsements.
Absolutely, do that.
Thank you, Rock.
Sure.
Okay.
So you're nervous about the fight?
They're scared to death.
You don't look scared?
Well, you ain't supposed to.
Then you don't have to do it.
Yeah, well, I think I do.
You know, living with you, it hasn't been easy. People see me, but they think of you. Now with all this going on, this is gonna be worse than ever.
It don't have to be.
No, sure it does.
Why? You got a lot going on, kid.
Oh, what, my last name? That's the reason I got a decent job. That's the reason why people deal with me in the first place. Now I start to get a little ahead. I start to get a little something for myself, and this happens. Now I'm asking you as a favor not to go through with this, okay? This is only gonna end up bad for you, and it's gonna end up bad for me.
You think I'm hurting you?
Yeah, in a way you are.
It's the last thing I ever wanted to do.
I know that's not what you want to do, but that's just the way that it is. Don't you care what people think? Doesn't it bother you that people are making you out to be a joke and that I'm gonna be included in that? Do you think that's right? Do you?
You ain't gonna believe this. But you used to fit right here. I'd hold you up and say to your mother, this kid's gonna be the best kid in the world. This kid's gonna be somebody better than anybody ever knew. And you grew up good and wonderful. It was great just watching you every day. It was like a privilege. Then the time come for you to be your own man and take on the world, and you did. But somewhere along the line, you changed. You stopped being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. And when things got hard, you started looking for something to blame, like a big shadow. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. I'm always gonna love you no matter what. No matter what happens. You're my son, you're my blood. You're the best thing in my life. But until you start believing in yourself, you ain't gonna have a life. Don't forget to visit your mother.
Just want to stop there. This is a speech from Rocky Balboa. Rocky is one of my favorite movies of all time. Rocky 1, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Rocky Balboa, Creed, Creed 2. And yes, I left Rocky 5 out because that's not a very good movie. I'll still watch it. But Rocky Balboa is one of the greatest characters ever invented. Sylvester Stallone is a genius. And that speech right there is just amazing on so many levels. And I kind of just wanted to start off with that, just because if you haven't seen it, you should go see it, watch the movie. But the speech is great. You've probably seen it. And I wanted to kind of have it lead into some stuff that I've touched on other podcasts, and maybe a way moving forward as we get deeper and deeper into the politics season and the election season, and there's just a few more weeks until the election. I was disheartened and then heartened, I don't know if that's a good way to say it, over the past few days, few weeks, with social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, different people that are friends of mine posting things, and there were some negatives, and then all of a sudden, just the other day, I was like, yes, it seems like there's some light shining for some people. I saw a couple people that I know posting just some things, and I'll use it, and this goes both ways. This goes from both sides, but it was people I know saying, if you're voting for Trump, just unfriend me. Just don't talk to me. We can't be friends because you support a racist, you support a homophobe, you support a bigot, and just let's not be friends. And then they kind of brag a little bit about, some friends brag about how they've lost family members. They've lost relationships with family members over political junk, over the fact that they support Biden and their family members support Trump, and so they can't be friends. They can't be family members even because of politics. And that's just so disgraceful to me, and so sad on so many levels to me. So many levels. It's the media's fault. It's politicians' fault. It's people's fault for listening to those people. It's for people putting so much stock in politicians to think that they're going to be the ones that rescue them, that they're going to be the ones that are going to save them. And that's kind of what I'm going to lead into here in a second because of this speech. And it just was disappointing to me. It's like, and I don't comment on Facebook, especially about politics. On Twitter I do, but on Facebook I leave it free of politics. I think all politicians, I just don't like it. I don't like politics. It's divisive. And what a shame for, number one, for people to lose relationships, and especially family relationships with friendships over people because of their political beliefs. And two, for them to brag about it, for them to think that that's like a badge of honor. Hey, look, I lost a relationship with an uncle because he supports Trump. That's not cool. That's sad on too many levels. And it goes the other way. There's people on the right that are, if you support, Joe Biden, then you must be a baby killer, or you must be, a communist, because that's who's going to take over when he's president. You know what? Maybe there's this. Maybe that different people have different opinions about the politicians they want to vote for, and I hate to break it to both sides. There's good and bad in both of those guys. And again, as we get closer to the election, I have a list of the good things that Trump has done and the bad things that Trump has done. And guess what? If you're a Biden supporter and a Trump hater, there are good things that Trump has done. And there's quite a few things that he's done that have been good. And there's quite a few things that he's done that is bad. And the same goes for Biden. His career leading up to this point, there's some good things that he's done, and there's some bad things that he's done. And if you are looking at a candidate and saying that candidate is the end-all, be-all for my existence, and if I vote for him, then all my troubles are going to go away. If Donald Trump is not in the Oval Office after the November election, then everything is going to be better. Listen, it's not, right? Joe Biden is not your savior. Donald Trump is not your savior. Yes, if you are a Democrat or a Republican, or if you are a Biden supporter or a Trump supporter, you think that they have things going for them that you believe in, and they're going to help you, and America's going to be great again because of Trump, or America's going to be better again because of Biden. Knock yourself out, be political, support who you want, but I hate to say this, whoever is elected, whoever is the next president, you're going to be disappointed in them, because they're not perfect and they do make mistakes on both sides. And so my hope is that as we get closer to the election, maybe people start waking up to the divisiveness that we see, and we look at people who say, I've lost family members because, again, I've lost family members because of politics, and that's not cool. That's not good. That's not nice. That's not friendly. That's not good at all. And I was encouraged over the past few days because I have other friends who have differing opinions on Biden and Trump, and they'll post something on Facebook, and instead of it being a divisive, horrible, you're a horrible person, no, you're a horrible person, no, let me type in all caps so I can prove my point, and let me post from a website like youbelievelikeme.com, and I'll show you how I'm right, and then you'll post from, well, I think this way.com, and you're right. And instead of it becoming a shouting match, it was actually some really constructive conversations between two people who disagreed with each other. 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, different people were weighing in on some really divisive issues like abortion, like the Supreme Court, like taxes, like women's rights. You name the issue. Normally those issues that delve into shouting matches and divisiveness and losing friendships or losing family relationships over, people were having really good conversations with really good back and forth, and people were respectful, and people were nice, and people actually saw the other person's point of view. And it didn't mean that at the end they all agreed, but it was just nice to see people saying, well, I can see how you see that, but can you see how I see this? Well, yes. Well, I still think this. Well, I still think this, but I understand what you're saying. And I thought that was really cool. And I hope and pray that that's more of what happens in real life, and that social media just enhances the nastiness, and that normal everyday people are going to be normal everyday people, and they're going to respect each other, and they're not going to lose relationships over who you vote for. You vote for who you want to vote for, they're going to vote for who they want to vote for, and because we're adults, we can still be friends. We can still do things together. We can still hang out. We can still agree to disagree, because that's what makes America great, is that people with different ideas and different beliefs and different religions and different ethnicities and different ideologies, we live here and we're free to have those beliefs. And I think that's a really cool thing. And I hope that we continue to see what some politicians are trying to do to us, and we move to just being friendly and being caring and being loving and being able to have those kind of conversations. Because in the end, for me, the reason I like this speech that we watched, Rocky giving to his son, and you can, there's a lot to take from it, but what Rocky's saying to his son is, you go out and make your life. You go out and do the things that you want to do, and stop playing the victim. Stop blaming other people for your issues. And I say stop depending on other people to make your life better. If you're waiting for Donald Trump to make your life better, you're going to be disappointed. If you think that Joe Biden being elected is instantly going to change things in this country, you're disappointed, because you don't know how this country was designed to be set up. It's designed of a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. We're the people that make the change. So if you want change, go out and make change. If you want less homeless people, go take care of homeless people. If you want to help people better themselves, go become a teacher, go help people read, go help kids, whatever the case may be, whatever the issue is, you're the reason that it's going to change, not a politician. And again, if a politician is who you're looking for, I know you're going to be disappointed. I know you're going to be disappointed. There is not a perfect politician. There's you and there's me and there's us together. We can do it. So regardless of who's elected in November, whether it's Trump or Biden, do you know what's going to happen the next day? The sun is going to come up. The birds are going to chirp and sing. People are going to wake up. They're going to hopefully still have relationships with their friends and their family, and they're going to talk to their kids, and they're going to talk to their wife, and they're going to go to work, and they're going to pursue their dreams, and they're going to go talk to people. And you know what? That's how you make things better, is by living your life and doing what you want done. So if you see an issue that needs addressing, go address it. Right? And address it in your small circle. I talked about this the other day, that we have such an ability to change the world around us, and then that will change the world around other people, and it will change the world. That's how you change things. If you're waiting on an answer from Washington, you're waiting on the wrong thing. right? The people are going to disappoint you. Politicians are severely going to disappoint you. And we're the ones that make the change. So go out, be nice, be friendly, be caring, have constructive conversations. Hopefully it's in person. But if it's on Facebook, if it's on social media, make it constructive. Yeah, you can point out the errors in someone's ways. And if they point out the errors in your ways and you're having a good conversation, great. But if it delves into shouting, if it delves into gotchas, if it delves into whataboutisms or straw man arguments, just be gone with them. Don't even engage, because it's not going to be constructive. Have constructive conversations. Learn to understand why people think the way they think. And then hopefully they'll learn to understand why you think the way you think. And then you're going to go out and do what needs to be done. And stop pointing fingers. Stop laying blame, right? This country is not where it's at. And if you think it's in a good place, it's not because of Trump. And if you think it's in a bad place, it's not because of Trump. And if you think that electing Biden is going to make it greater or worse, that's not the case. We're the ones. You and I and everyday American citizens, we're the ones that make this country what it is. And I said this on Twitter, and I stand by it. I think it's true. My hope is not in a vote. It's not. And I think people that are putting all these memes and all these posts saying you need to vote, make sure to register to vote, you better vote. What they're really saying is you should vote, but you better make sure you vote the way I do. Because in November, when the election's over, it's going to be, you need to vote, but you're not supposed to vote that way, right? My hope is not in a vote. I've said before, as a theological pipe, as a Christian, my hope is in God. My hope is in Jesus Christ. And that's where I look for salvation. That's where I look for hope. That's where I look for peace. That's where I find my motivation to go do things, to love people, and to play with my dog as he barks and wants me to throw the ball. But, so my hope is not in a vote. My hope is in Christ. My hope is in God. My hope is in my fellow Americans, my fellow people, in human beings doing what God has called us to do, which is to love each other, which is to take care of each other, which is to take care of the orphans and the widows and the people in prison, and to give food to people that are hungry, and to give your coat to someone who's cold, and to help the least of these, and to help your neighbor. And the Bible makes it pretty clear who's your neighbor. Everybody that you come in contact with. And so that's where my hope is in doing the things that God has called us to do. And again, if you're going to vote in November. And if you have a certain candidate that you support them, right? But don't be disappointed in November if your candidate wins or loses. Right? Your hope is in God as a believer. If you believe in a God, that's where your hope is. So again, the speech to me is to say, quit looking to other people to make your lives better, and quit blaming other people if your life is bad, right? You look in the mirror, the sun came up, it's going to come up tomorrow, it's going to come up the next day. Go out and make your life what you want it to make. And if you see someone that needs help, go help them. Stop waiting for someone else to help them. Stop waiting for a government program to help people. You go help them, right? And other people are going to see you do that, and then they're going to get inspired, and they're going to help people. So that's my theological pipe for today, is stop blaming other people for the issues that are going on. You go change it. You have the power to change it, especially in the United States of America, but all over the world. And I'm amazed that there are people in other countries that listen to this podcast, and I appreciate everyone that listens. Anywhere you're at, you have the ability to make change. So go make change. Quit waiting for someone else to do it, and quit blaming other people for the ills that are going on. You go make the change you need to make. So put that in your theological pipe and smoke it. Be nice to each other, and we'll see you next time.
Well, bye.